Yeah, yeah, what's poppin', everybody? It is Thursday once again, and this is the first time I get to do the dang on intro. Y'all already know the vibes. K Quick, Beats, Bars, and Faith. It is the No Filter Show. And right next to me, who do we get?
I am the Blue Phoenix.
I thought you forgot your name for a second. I was about to
No,
say.
I was just prolonging, making it a little bit
So
extended.
dramatic. So yeah, shout out, first of all, shout out to Rock. He has the night off for the day, and Superstar decided to make her elaborate entrance, so she'll be coming on later on today. Some things never changed from years ago. That's just me being petty. What's going on over there, Phoenix? How's everything?
Oh, good, good. It's flurrying outside, y'all. We're getting a little snow down here in the city and in DC metro area.
Well,
Um, yeah.
well, it's not snowing over here, but I do got my Eskimo vibe on. Shout out to North Face. So yeah, because it's out there. I'm telling you right now. But but I hope it doesn't snow tomorrow. I'm sure it's. I know they calling for it. I think on Saturday. But speaking of tomorrow, let's get this out the way. If anybody is in the DMV tomorrow, come on down to the Famous Lounge because I am throwing a big birthday extravaganza. Shout out to the Famous Lounge for presenting and sponsoring everything. It's locked and it's lit. Tap in. Y'all already know the vibes. But I told Wheezy, excuse me, I almost put the other nickname out there. Well, I did. Dang, my bad. But yeah, I told Phoenix make sure she get her good head wrap out for this one.
Oh my
You know,
God.
make sure it's the good one that you've been putting in the back of the closet in a display case. You need to bring that one out for this. Yes. Even if it's bedazzled, you need to ice that thing out and step out with that one.
Slick something a little to the side, penny.
Yeah, something like that. But you need to be ready.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, but
But yeah, pull up on quick tomorrow, y'all. Help me
yeah, pull up
celebrate
on
his
all of us.
birthday.
You know we're gonna be in the building, man. We're gonna be there having a good time. It's all about just partying. Like for my birthday, I just want everybody to have a good time, party, be happy. So not even all about me. I just want to get everybody to get together and party in this crazy dang world we got going on here. So, and that's the weird thing. I kind of always put myself. I don't want to say last because I made a vow to myself that I was going to start, putting myself first. I learned that the hard way, but I was so busy like preparing everything for this year, last year, everything for my label, the team, just everything. And it didn't strike me until last month in December, like, dang, right, I got a birthday next month. Didn't plan nothing. I literally was able to pull all this whole birthday thing together within the last couple of weeks, and luckily everything kind of just fell into place. But I tend to do that a lot. I got to stop doing that.
Don't feel bad. I mean, I do it too. So it's like you said, you tend to not put yourself first in dealing with other things. You ain't think about. Look, every year for my birthday, I was either at work
Yeah.
or something for that matter. It took me a long time to actually start doing stuff for myself, and eventually I started just going away for the weekend, just going to a hotel just to get
Not
away. And then
bad.
I started doing no, I think I haven't done it in a long time, but then one time I went away for a week. I still went to work, but I was away from home, and I did that 2 years in a row. I haven't done anything in a
Hmm.
while though.
Well, I would say my past birthdays, like I would say the last birthday party I had was when I turned 27 and I had a tattoo party. But since then, like my last couple birthdays have mainly just been like, light, chill things, did some things for myself. Me and the missus will go out, so on and so forth. I do know back in 2020, it was either 2021 or 2022. I think it was two. But yeah, I flew over. Shout out to my family, Leticia Soul. Check her out. She flew me over to the West Coast. I was in Arizona for my B day. I was filming music videos and such, which I didn't mind because I love doing that stuff. I love creating. So I'm like, shoot, get to go over to the West, get away for a second, and I get to film something. Let's go. you know. And I ended up filming the best video that I feel I ever filmed and edited. And for those who don't know, make sure y'all check out Leticia Soul's music video, "Cry for Me." That for real is one of the greatest videos I have ever shot. That wasn't my video, so I put that over like all my videos just because everything that went into it. She had a big budget. She rented out this a horse ranch. She had live horses, like real guns, all that kind of stuff. It was a Western theme, so. And me, I grew up watching westerns with my dad and grandfather and all them. I watched the Bonanzas and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of was like, hey, I'm shooting a western. So it was fun. It was fun.
That's cool. So we talk about, because some people don't celebrate birthdays, or some people only celebrate like the big birthdays, like
Mm-hmm.
21, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45.
Mm-hmm.
I think we shouldn't wait, to
Nah, we
celebrate.
shouldn't.
Even if you don't do anything big or extravagant, just do something for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Again, even every day, like we have clothes in our closet that we have, and we're waiting for an event or something. This woman was in the grocery store. She had on this beautiful white dress, back out, had the bows going down the back, with her heels
Mm.
on and her fan, and she was walking through the grocery store with her. She said, "Look, I'm not gonna keep waiting for something to come, something special when every day is
I ain't
special."
mad at her.
I said,
I ain't mad.
I know that's right." Then I thought about this. Shoot, I'm about to start wearing my gowns.
Shoot, she made sure she looked good for that bread out.
She
Like
sure
real.
did. I was cracking up, but it's right, because we live like we are promised tomorrow.
I
And
mean, yeah, that's true, and that's for real. That's the only thing that is promised, which is death. Unfortunately, that's the only thing that is guaranteed in this life that we have. But as far as a birthday, I also know people who make it a mission to do everything on every birthday. I know people who travel somewhere each year on their birthday. They make a whole event out of it, which really, if you use it as a day to treat yourself, I mean, you should, but some people are just kind of low key about it. Like for instance, like I celebrated my birthday the past couple years. I just didn't make a hoopla about it. Like I was cool with like me and my girl going to our favorite restaurant or something like that. She always made a big thing about it. She always bought me a cake, even though I'm not a sweets person, because she made or bought the cake. I ate it. I ate pieces of it. She always bought the cake, the gifts, and all that stuff. She's a Virgo. You know how they are about doing stuff for people. But but still, I just wanna. I'm like, shoot, it's been too long. Let's ball out this shit, and let's just make it so, and let's also make it so everybody else can too. So, like I said, tomorrow, Famous Lounge, 10 p.m. Show up, party, have a good time. And if you're a January Capricorn baby, such as myself, it's your celebration too. Come on in, have a good time. Let's ball out. We set the tone for the year. We gotta let them know.
anybody think about y'all. We love y'all. We ain't think about y'all.
Yeah. Y'all don't think about us until y'all party with us, but it's all good. So, but speaking of doing something for yourself, you pointed myself. Oh, hit my camera and such. You pointed me in the direction of something that was shared to our group earlier today. I want to say it was earlier today, but this one fella had an interesting viewpoint on the difference between cheating and an affair, which is very odd. And when Star comes in, I would like her viewpoint on it. But we're gonna do something different. We're gonna do just the audio vision because really the video is just somebody talking. So I'm gonna bring an extra screen in here. Yes, is one of my other names. Don't worry about that, folks. So what we're gonna do? All right. Let me be honest. I wasn't taught how to cue videos up yet, so we're improvising. So y'all are still gonna get the effect of what this man is saying. So right now we're gonna mute up so we can let this video play, and then we are going to break this thing down. So this is what this gentleman here had to say. Let me play this for y'all.
And these are not the viewpoint.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say this is not the viewpoints of the No Filter Show. This is the viewpoints of the gentleman speaking. We will only be giving our opinion or comments on what we heard.
Over cheating. It's the affairs that they can't get past. People can get over cheating. They understand shit happens. You get horny. You were drunk. Maybe I wasn't performing right in a relationship and you made a mistake and it happened. But it's the affairs that we can't get past. Do you want to know why we can't get past the affairs? Because you actually had an emotional connection with this person. You treated this person as if they were equal to me. You rubbed their back. You rubbed their feet. You spent money on them. You gave them quality time. You actually cared. And you probably even entertained the thought of leaving me for them. That's why I can't get past an affair. Cheating, okay, it happened. Life happens. Things happen. I get it. Maybe I've cheated in the past. Maybe I was lacking somewhere where maybe I could have improved, and it happened. But you fell for them. You fell in love with them. You thought about actually putting our family on the back burner and creating a life with them. You were in a relationship with me and them. That's why they're comfortable even approaching me. And that's why I can't get past it. You didn't just hump them. You caught feelings, and that's where you effed up. Am I lying?
Well.
That
Mute the other one.
yeah.
Yeah, I
See, I muted. I did the wrong one. Anyways, that was heavy, yo. That was very, very heavy. So I know what I'm going to say, but I'm curious to see you as a woman respond to what this young man here said. I'm calling him a young man. He's probably the same age or probably older than me. That's crazy. Anyways, go
don't
ahead.
worry, I do that too. Whenever I'm talking to older people, I say, "How you doing, young man? Young lady?" It's all right. So, I think it's the same feeling. You know, it's still cheating. You know, whether it's a full-time affair or just stepping out. I think the reaction is the same. Now, I do agree with him saying, you put this time with this person, you did this, you did that with this person, da, da, da. Yeah, that's an affair. But it's still the same feeling. It's still the same feeling. I've been on both sides of that. I've been cheated on multiple times, and I've cheated. And I, I wouldn't, I wouldn't recommend anybody do either. But I've been on both sides of it, and it doesn't matter whether it's one time or a continual thing. It still hurts,
Mm-hmm. And for real, when it comes to that, it's all the same, in my opinion. Now, I get what he is saying. There's a difference between an affair and cheating, because granted, you have to cheat first in order to have an affair. That's the start of it, you know. So why would it be any different? And for real, I personally think he has that opinion because he may have done some cheating and he was forgiven and so on and so
yeah,
forth,
the
and she
one
may have
time,
and
right?
she may and
Yeah,
she may have cheated back and so on and so forth, and they may have gotten past. But like, that's to me, that's the opinion of a cheater, for real, so whether it be a one night stand, you hit it and then you leave, or you call an Uber as soon as it's over. But regardless, it's the same thing. Regardless, you gave like in you gave your body to another individual, which was supposed to remain, for lack of better description, sacred or exclusive to the person that you're in an exclusive or sacred commitment with. So for one, that's the to me that's the same thing. And with women, correct me if I'm wrong, they cheat differently than men. Like whether because a man is more prone to just, I'll say this, cheat without
The
feelings
physical, yeah,
involved.
yeah.
Cheat without feelings involved. Now, I'm not saying there's women that can't do that, because there are, but generally, I'm speaking generally now. More so, there has to be something mentally and emotionally intriguing in order for a woman to really go that far as to commit adultery. You know what I mean? And it has to be something emotional. And even when a woman is hurt, even when a woman is hurt because she got cheated on, there has to be an emotional push to her selection and who she does that with. You
It
know?
could, it could. That's usually the biggest. That's the highest percentage
Mm-hmm.
right there. The emotional connection or the mental support. That you
Mm-hmm.
receive from this person. It's some sort of connection usually. But there are some women that are on get back and they
Of
don't have
course.
no connection at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
So
mean, it could be either way.
so it's like, now granted, if if you did the cheating first and she got cheated, and you got cheated on, whether you're a man or a woman, whether the woman did the cheating first or the man did the cheating first, if it was a get back shot, I mean, it's really nothing you can say about that. There's nothing you can say about that. But as far as
Yeah,
like,
no matter what you can't say, it's gonna be something said.
yeah, yeah, I know it's real. There can be
Mm.
something said, but that was get back. I mean, of course, they say two wrongs don't make it right. Don't stoop down to folks' level, but you know, I'll say women are emotional creatures, and but like I said,
You
men
can
are
be
too.
very much so, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm a speak on my experience because I
this
can
will
only speak on my experience. So I was
fair
married.
enough.
We all know, well, most everybody know that I was married. And during the duration of our marriage, I was cheated on often. Shoot, within the first year of our marriage, I was cheated on. And so, of course, I thought I wasn't doing something right. I thought I wasn't giving him time. I thought I wasn't doing this, thought I wasn't doing that. Well, that was not the case. And I must say, men and women, someone who cheats is usually not your fault. It could be a lack of something that they're missing from you, but it still takes the person to do it. So it's not your fault that they cheat, you know. If there was no outreach of trying to correct what they're lacking or issue before the person stepped out, or whatever, it's not your fault. Even when I did it, it wasn't his fault. I did it, but so that happened years and years. We were married years and years, 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 years before I did it. But of course, he assumed I did it because I was trying to get back with him. And I was like, no, I honestly did it. Like you said, it was a emotional connection because I felt, well, we was having a lot of problems. I couldn't get through to him. And then somebody saw me, my neighbor saw me, damn, not my neighbor, Lord Jesus. Think my neighbor. He was like not the neighbor next to me, but like within the area. And so he saw me crying outside one day. And so ever since then we were talking, trying to figure things out, blah, blah, blah. But that's how it happened. So again, it was emotional. I didn't do that again, but when he found out, when my ex-husband found out, it doesn't matter that it was just one time. It wasn't an affair. It doesn't matter that it was just one time. He went crazy. So that's why I say I don't. It doesn't matter whether it's just the one time or it's a long time thing. It's still the same thing. Not the fact that he had been doing this the entire marriage or doing stuff the entire marriage. Not the fact that I had got, like the guy said, I got phone calls from women. It was messages from not, they got comfortable enough to try to approach me because that was their man, though that was my husband. It doesn't matter. Now, again, we both were wrong in the situation, but I was more forgiving and stupid because it was continual. But when it was flipped, that was not the case. He made it his business to embarrass me.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, every chance he got, he just would say stuff, and it didn't matter if the kids were there or not.
Yeah, it got
Because
messy, huh?
yeah, it got terrible. He was hurt, which I understand. I never, I understood because I violated. We were married, and I hurt hurt him for stepping out like that. But like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And so my question is this: the reason why I went down that line of saying all that, because I really didn't have to, but I went down the line to get to this question: why is it so much harder for a man to be cheated on than for him to cheat on a woman? Why is the reaction so much stronger? And I've heard multiple times as to why that is, but I really want to know, why is it always the double standard when it comes to that?
I'll say now granted, I'm speculating because I never cheated, never been cheated on. I personally think that's the worst thing anybody could do to anyone. But
It was, I felt like trash. I felt like trash.
mm,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So but knowing people who have done it and who've had it done to them, I do know when a man gets cheated on, we harbor more emotion than we like to let on. You know what I mean? We have more insecurities than we like to show because, granted, we were taught not to show any of that stuff. You know what I mean? But I'll paint this picture. Let's just say a man finds out his woman is cheating on him or having an affair or whichever. Adultery is adultery at the end of the day. So let's say he finds that out. Main thing goes into his head, like every insecurity that he may have about himself is about to pour out, because now he's overthinking and over scrutinizing himself. Because for one of the main differences is, for one, the woman is the receiver, you know, and if and I'm speaking specifically physically, like when it comes to intercourse, the woman is the receiver. So the fact that, for one, someone else is enjoying that alone is tearing them apart. Then other insecurities was like, yo, is he better than me? Is he, for lack of better terms, bigger than me? So on and so forth. All these things are in his head, because now there is a reason, especially if it's quote unquote an affair, when it's long term. There's a reason you're going back to him and letting him do that. Now he's trying to. Oh, he's over scrutinizing himself. He's over scrutinizing himself because now he's trying to figure out what's wrong with what does that dude have on me? You know what I mean? That's more than likely what's going through the mind of a man, because for one, a man not they don't do it more apparent than or as excessive than women do, but for one, a man in his mind, even because granted, our confidence, if a man has confidence, we don't look at another man get threatened, there's no competition. But at the same time, when we walk into a room, we let it be known a man walked into a room. Like if a group of men walk by and you're just like chilling on the corner, like unconsciously, like your chest poke out a little bit, like a man's chest will poke out. He'll probably pull himself a little different. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So now that his woman has voluntarily and willingly opened herself up to another man, he in his mind says, all right, now I have to compete with something. Obviously there is competition out there. Now what is it that he has that is pulling her away from here to go over there? And because she is the receiver in the situation, and that also draws the mental and emotional and physical attraction that a woman has as well. So it's, I want to say this, it could be that there's deeper factors, there's deeper factors when it comes to a woman, as far as if in a man's mind, you know what I mean? Are you understand? Is that
Yeah,
understandable?
no, I understand what you're saying, but not but let's add to that because everything you described, we go through, we experience that when it happens to
Explain.
us. When it happens to us, we have the insecurities. We wonder what she has or what she does that we don't do. Why is it better? We have those same questions. Then we're wondering, well, who is it? It's like a whole. Even if you aren't insecure, just like what men, even if you don't have an insecurity, that will turn you insecure. It will make you feel like, what the hell? And so and I understand about being the receiver because again, it is different for us. But then you think about it, if a man is cheating, he's going to another receiver. So it's like, it's the same. The thing this is why I say it's a double standard, because though you have a penis, not necessarily you, but just, though men have you have a penis and it's not the same as a woman, it's still the same. You're still cheating. And I also don't want to hear nothing about no drunk sex. You know what you're doing. I've been drunk before.
If you're using drunk as an excuse, then maybe you shouldn't be drinking.
Right. It's
I
it's a
mean,
lot of
that's
people
it's
that was like, I
simple.
was drunk. If
I
I'm
don't I
drinking,
don't want to hit. I don't
like
want to hit.
I haven't in a while, but if I'm drinking and I'm tipsy or over the tip. Excuse me. Over the
That's a sound bite for you. Oh, we saving that one.
Woo! If I'm over the tip, ain't nobody supposed to be in that room but me and that person anyway. But if I'm past, I still am conscious enough to know what I'm doing. So no, I don't take that as an excuse either.
Well, if for one, if anybody who knows that they have the ability of doing things irresponsibly when they're drinking, they should know not to drink. For one, that so I don't use that as an excuse because you knew that already. That you're responsible for that. You know how you operate, and if you knew that was even a possibility, you shouldn't have never picked the drink up. So, and
And
for
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying, and for one, I agree. Like for one, cheating is cheating no matter who does it. I don't really believe there's a double standard in cheating personally. I believe men react more just for that, or the reaction is harder just for that reason.
It's almost
We
like possession, though. It's almost like possession.
we
Not
gotta be
yeah.
honest. We gotta be honest. In every relationship, especially if you're engaged, married, so on and so forth, if you're in this relationship for the long haul, there is a sense of possession on both sides. You're looking at that like that's my wife. Or the woman is saying that's my husband, so on and so forth. There is what's the word looking for? It's possession and they're territorial. That's what I'm looking for. That is there's a sense of territorialism when it comes to your significant other, because
Yeah.
you
I'm
put
talking
if
on
you
both
put a
sides. Yeah.
yeah, it's on both sides. You put a ring on it, like as my girl. She'll tell you exactly who she. I might as well be I might as well be a dang car the way she talks about me sometimes. So, but it's all good, But like there significant others when it comes to a marriage and so on and so forth, they are territorial. That's true. So when you find out somebody is cheating on you, that's somebody that stole your car. That's somebody that broke into your house. That's somebody that stole something that you worked hard for, that doesn't belong to them, that you claim is yours because you worked hard to get that. You know what I'm saying? So of course it is, because that's how you gotta look at it. I mean, cheating is cheating no matter if you're a man or a woman. Like the reaction of a man is harder because, like I said, they are men are naturally groomed not to express insecurities or or emotions or so on and so forth. So when the wound is carved, everything pours out. So it's gonna seem extremely harsh, going into it. But cheating is cheating at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I've done it the one time I've done it and really what I did, but what I learned, this is why I say it's not about the other person. It's, sometimes we look to our spouses or our partners to fulfill certain parts of us that we have not taken the time to feel. And so at that time, I was looking for him to, I needed him to be there for me. I needed him to be what I didn't realize then that he couldn't be. He didn't have that. But I was looking for that because in my mind, he should have been able to do it. But I was not doing that because there were things that I was looking for that I didn't get as a child. I didn't so looking, go over the years, just realizing that I was being unfair looking for something from him that he didn't have. And so, looking back, it wasn't about the sex with the other person. It was about me looking for what I couldn't get from my ex-husband. You know what I'm saying?
So you were trying to fill a void.
Yeah. And I didn't realize what it was because honestly, I didn't have a connection with the person. I didn't have a connection with him for real. But
Hmm.
I felt like, well, I didn't feel like nothing, but he was there, we talked and it happened. And of course we had a conversation after that, we didn't, do that again. But
Of course.
yes, but not but. And I made sure that he was clear. Look, no, I shouldn't have done that. I kind of felt like I took advantage of him because he
Hmm.
was very emotional. I was like, well, hold up. He got some out deals. I be just looking back. But yeah, so looking back, I realized that the space I was in
Hmm.
and where we had, children working, trying to do things. We were younger, and that's no excuse either, but just not having the examples or having healthy relationships around you to show you, to teach you how to fulfill those things within you that your partner can't feel. So that was years ago, and I have not done that. So now the Louisa now has took that time to fill those voids, have figured out what was wrong, have found out things that have been buried within me to cause me to go seeking those things. So,
Hmm.
take the time to heal or take the time to just go digging in that dark part of yourself that you don't know is there for real. And just take the time and do that. So once I figured out or once I learned what was going on with me, that there are things within me that is a problem because that shouldn't have happened, you know. But again, I went looking for something that he couldn't give me because he
Hmm.
didn't have it himself because he was looking for it from me. But I was
Wow.
able to, yeah, but I was able to pour that into him because that was, you know, given to me, or that's just something my family just love. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't getting it back.
Mm.
But he couldn't. I didn't understand then that he could not give me that because he didn't have it. And so that thing, that what I did was wrong. Believe me, I told him, I apologized, I begged, I was like, I will make it up. Because I've just felt horrible. And
Hmm.
I know it hurt because when I found out about his things, I felt like nothing. So I
Hmm.
know that hurt him. And I didn't even in that time, I never even said, well, you did that to me. No, because I forgave him for those
Hmm.
things. And that never came up in my mind. I just knew I violated and I shouldn't have
Right.
done it. And I know better because I'm a married woman. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's the difference. Even though then I was wrong. I still knew that I had to deal with the consequences because I was a woman. I was married. You know what I'm saying? And even now, I don't even have the desire
Mm,
to be with anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
I don't have the desire. I mean, to I'm not looking for that anymore. I'm not looking for somebody to fill my void because I filled that void.
Right, right,
And
right,
so with
right.
the person I'm with, I don't have that expectation for him to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, that desire to go looking for it is no longer there.
Mm. So
So
question.
yes, the
So in a relationship, do you feel that cheating or adultery in general, because it's all cheating, but because some people they feel that that's irreparable, and I'm not gonna lie, with the connection and the bond and love me and mine have, like we both say the same thing. That's something irreparable. I can't do it. That's
yeah,
just us. That may that that
yeah,
may that may be that may be just my emotions, and so on and so forth, and vice versa. But realistically, like, I know how damaged I would be from that. You know what I mean? And I know what kind of person I am, in the regard and the value that I place into that individual I'm in the relationship with. That's like the ultimate betrayal. But do you feel? But that's, like I said, that's just the way I view it. But do you feel it can be a fixable situation for some folks?
yeah. Because I was the same way that you guys are. I was like, I don't care if a person cheat on me because I knew friends and
Mm,
I knew people who
mm,
had this happen to them, and I was like, just leave, just leave, just leave. But until you get into that relationship and until you get into that marriage, and you just think, until it happened, I was like, please, you
mm.
know. When it happened the first time it happened, um, I was in shock because of course I didn't notice anything, but I was always working, so I couldn't notice anything. But I did not want to leave. I was hurt,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I didn't want to leave because that was my husband, and we can work it out. He was sorry, quote unquote. He was sorry, So if you really want to work things out, you can,
Mm.
but it does take a lot because once you violate that trust, you have to really you have to really put the effort into building that trust back up.
I
You
mean,
know?
yeah, and once again, it depends on the people involved,
Yeah,
person involved. You know, and I will also say, even if we look at like other public figures, if we look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, like, they were able to salvage their situation. But then if you look at Robin Thicke and Paula Patton, in that case, that was irreparable. She couldn't.
yeah, but
Now,
you don't know
she
how many
couldn't come back.
times
Well,
it
I
had
know that.
happened.
I know
Yeah,
that, but I can only go off of what we know. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that that was a one and done. There was no he Robin literally made an entire album dedicated to her, called Paula. Basically an album begging her to come back, and so on and so forth. But to no avail, no fix. You know what I mean? So it could be, it depends on the person. It depends on the person. So
yeah, it does. It does. So again, yeah, and usually irreconcilable differences is usually not cheating.
it's usually not,
Yeah, it's usually
but
not. So most people don't leave because of the cheating. So it can be reconciled. It's just like you said, sometimes some people that's just it, the ultimate betrayal. Hell no,
hmm
goodbye. And some people it's like, okay, we can try to work on this. Let's try to do this. Da, 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 da. Some people do only cheat the one and done, and then they,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm sorry, da, 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 and they actually do get their relationship together, get themselves together, and that's they move forward in a relationship. Some people are not
Yep.
one and done people.
Yep.
Some people just gotta keep going, and
Yep. Well,
you
yeah.
know,
Well, speaking of everything, our guest actually just jumped into the studio. So, no filter nation, we are extremely excited about this one. This person that we are bringing and presenting to you this evening has made extreme airwaves, went viral, so on and so forth, the whole 9 yards. And he is responsible to probably one of the most guaranteed clips to be in every full contact highlight reel in the future and forever and ever. This dude just broke a world record. We're about to get into it in a second. But everybody, I would like to present to you Mr. BK Warmonger himself, a professional fighter for the bare knuckle fighting championships. Man, I present to you all Mr. Justin Watson.
How's it
What's going
going?
on, bro?
And too
welcome.
much. Got in from training. How y'all doing?
Oh, see,
Oh,
man,
good. Well, thank you so much for
we
taking your time.
blessed. Yes, we
No doubt.
firstly, brother, we definitely do appreciate you coming to join us here this evening, man. Especially he came straight off the mat, straight out of training to come chop it up with us, man. So firstly, how has everything been? Hopefully your new year, hopefully your new year has been kicked off very, very greatly, bro.
Yeah, man. It's it's been wild. Obviously, with all the hype going on, but just trying to get back into training. Get ready for this next fight.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So so basically how we want to start this, because I look at it this way, every warrior has an origin. You know what I mean? And what I really want people in our following to know, I want them to know your origin. So if you can, for those who may just be getting acclimated to who Justin Watson is, firstly, let us know, where you're from, your background, your come up, all that good stuff. Like, where did Justin Watson come from, and how did he develop into this warrior that we see today?
Yeah. So I grew up in like Sevier County, Tennessee, big tourist area. I don't know if you've heard of Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area. So that's where I grew up at. Always just a rowdy kid. Like getting in trouble, getting in fights, and always wanted to get into training and be in martial arts as a kid, and just other sports always took the focus. So I got into watching UFC probably 2002, 2003, something like that. And then as soon as I got out of high school, I got into a gym and started training martial arts. And it's been a long road, obviously, since then. But yeah, that's where it all got started at.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what are all the martial arts that you're trained in?
Uh, Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu, a little judo, wrestling.
Wow. So, and you said when did you begin? So this when did you begin your interest in one take up these different martial arts?
I got into the sport, I guess, probably like 2002. As far as just like a spectator, a fan, and just started looking for a way in from that point on. Trying to find how to get into a good gym and how to make my path.
Wonderful. And 1 second, we got Star who came in. How you doing, Star?
Hey everyone. Hey Justin. Nice to
How's it
meet
going?
you.
How you doing?
So
Doing
yeah,
well.
yes. So Star Justin here was just giving us a little bit of his background and origin. And Star and Justin, when I reached out to you, firstly, you're a very, very, very humble dude, easy to talk to. Definitely appreciate you as a human being. When I started looking uh things up and so on and so forth, I saw a match that you were in that I didn't even know they did. I saw a tag team mixed martial arts match. So can you explain to those who may have never seen that, um, how does a match like that work? Y'all kind of merge like MMA and professional wrestling a little bit there. So how does that work?
Yeah, so it was actually jujitsu. It was just there was no striking involved, so it was just grappling. So tag team jujitsu, and you're in a cage. So you start out with two guys in the middle. The other two are up against the cage. They have one hand touching the cage at all times. And at any time you can tag your partner in. At which point you have 5 seconds to kind of double team the guy until the referee kicks you out. um, and it's the first team to three submissions is how you win it, or if it goes to a decision, whichever team has the most submissions at the end of it. But it's wild, man. It's like, it definitely takes grappling to another extreme. You have to game plan for it all different. Obviously, you can
Wow.
set up to do the whole double team stuff. If you set that up right, you can really do some damage in those spots. So it's a pretty cool experience, man.
Wow. So you got 5 seconds to jump somebody. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
What was your inspiration for getting into the sport in the first place?
I was just a fan, really, starting out. Growing up, I always wanted to do kickboxing or some type of martial art, boxing or kickboxing. Just never really got into it. Never really had the path. There wasn't any gyms around me, or just wasn't something that I knew how to get into. And I played other sports, so that was just kind of our focus growing up. And then once I became an adult, and could make my own choices, I guess, and do what I wanted, I found a gym and started training at that point.
Did you found your gym in the area you grew up in? Because I know a lot of people don't realize the importance of recreational centers or different gyms for children. Did you find one in your hometown or where you live at now?
Yeah, it was in my hometown. It was just a martial arts gym. They basically started out as a jujitsu gym. Mostly did jujitsu, but they had a striking coach as well. So yeah, it was just a small spot when I started. That gym has been there for a long time now. They're a pretty big gym, got a good, nice jujitsu program. But at that time, they were kind of just getting started, and the guy who owned the gym was one of the first pros in the region in Tennessee in martial arts. So there was a lot of good insight there as far as what you needed to do is getting ready to take your career forward and whatnot.
So when you were a fan, or when you got inspired to actually put your best foot forward and training to become pro yourself, like when you were coming up, who did you look up to? Who would you say was the fighter that made you say, who was the fighter that made you say, yeah, I got to do what he's doing, like he's the one?
It was probably two of them, probably Nick and Nate Diaz. Uh, those are probably two of my favorite fighters of all time. Just willing to go in there and fight anybody, and they go in there and fight their ass off. They're not going to stop. You're going to have to kill them basically to get them out of there. They have no fear. That style of just constantly coming after you and trying to take you out. It's always been something that I enjoyed, and their personalities, obviously took them to a whole nother level as far as getting the fans behind them and whatnot. So yeah, those are two guys that I've always looked up to. But but I mean, I've been a huge fan of the sport for a long time. So there's really not anybody in the sport that I couldn't tell you, who they fought, when they fought them, and everything about them. I've been studying this thing for as long as I can remember.
Well, with that being said, who's your dream match? Who would you absolutely want to see in the ring?
Um, well, I mean, Conor McGregor is a co-owner of BKFC. That'd be wild. I guess if you have to throw out a dream match, that would probably be something that's never going to happen. But who knows? You go make enough noise, and the money's right. It could
I
happen.
would I would definitely say never. I mean, Mayweather literally just had a match with like a YouTuber, for
Right.
crying out loud. So literally anything could happen, and I would and all I know is if when that does happen, I'm putting it in the air. When that does happen, we gonna be front row. We
Let's
are
go.
traveling. We traveling to see that match, and
Let's
that's
go. Let's
real
do it.
talk.
We need
Yes,
me and
sir.
McGregor in Ireland.
Oh, that would be fire.
There
They
we
got
go.
good. I heard that beer is good over there.
Yeah, yeah. If you like dark beer, I guess.
But yeah, but for real. So speaking of bare knuckle fighting championships and all that good stuff, because granted, when we did the research on you, we saw you in the cage fighting and so on and so forth. What made you land on bare knuckle fighting? Because for real, to me, in my opinion, that is the most full contact you can get. Like the only thing you have is tape on your wrist for like support, but it's nothing but skin and bones, really. What made
Yeah.
you wanna step into that realm?
The sport is just taking off, being so new. It's grown so fast. It's the fastest growing combat sport out there. So I knew that when I got that opportunity, I knew that there was a path, at my age to really launch myself forward. I knew that there was going to be plenty of spotlight on that promotion in itself. And, like I said, I've been grappling forever, but I hate it. I can't stand rolling around on the ground. I get so tired. And especially now that I'm old, it hurts way too much the next day and I can't breathe. So, taking that aspect out of the competition was, big for me. Obviously, I would have loved to have done kickboxing. If you really think about it, bare knuckle, it seems brutal. You see a lot of cuts. It's not visually doesn't look that great visually, but it's really just superficial cuts and stuff. They're really not taking that much damage. If you think about in Muay Thai or kickboxing or MMA, they're taking a shin straight across the forehead or a knee right across the face. So those things I think are a lot more dangerous. As far as the longevity of your career goes, I think that
Mm.
you can probably have a lot longer career in this than some of those other sports.
And you heal better too because it's a natural. They say because it's like your fist to your face, so it heals better than
Yeah,
it would like a shin or other things. Yeah, so you do
yeah,
heal.
and you can only hit so hard, not having a glove and tape on your hands. It's going to break. So if I got a 10-ounce boxing glove and thick wraps on my hands, I can throw as hard as I want to, and not really worry about it that much. You can break your hands in it, obviously, but with bare knuckle, I mean it. I'm still learning how to control my power a little bit. I guess
Mm.
I just want to take your head off, but you land too hard in the wrong spot. You punch somebody in their forehead, and your hand's gone. You can't fight.
Very
You're down
true.
to one hand at that point. So
Mm.
there's that. You have to be tactical as far as that goes too.
Definitely. So, speaking of bare knuckle, I mentioned a little bit in the intro how you now have a clip that's probably going to be in every combat sports highlight reel. You might as well change your little name down there to Mr. 2.9, man. Like, for those of you all who don't know, which I'm surprised if you don't, because the clip is everywhere. You might have been living under a rock somewhere. This man, in the last fight that I seen him in, this fight lasted just long enough to make a Instagram story out of. Let's say that. As soon as the bell rang, the fight was over. And that is not an exaggeration. Man, 2.9 seconds. The bell rang, and the first strike was the only strike of the fight. Firstly, let's talk about this fight here. How did you train for this fight? Like, what was this? Was that your strategy going in? Just attack and don't let up? Like, what was your thought process in training for this particular opponent?
Yeah, man, I've had a lot of ups and downs in my career. Loss. I was coming off of a couple of losses, so I knew that this was probably my last opportunity to really cement myself and make a name for myself and secure a spot moving forward. So I basically quit my job a couple months, as soon as I found out about the fight, and just said I'm just going to focus on this 100%. Put everything I've got into this for the next couple months, and the guy that I was fighting was he's 11-1 in pro MMA, 1-0 in BKFC. All of his wins in pro MMA were finishes. He finished everybody in the first round. He had some offers from the UFC during COVID, and some things went wrong with that. So, this guy was on the radar of all the biggest shows, and he was a massive favorite. He was like a 12-1 favorite going into the fight. So, like I said, I knew I needed to go there and do something special. So we had a game plan if it didn't work out, but the plan A was as soon as the bell rings, you throw as hard as you can and try to take him out. Let's go in there. If we go in there and set a record, then there's no denying us at that point. So that was the goal. It didn't play out exactly. I kind of had a plan as far as the technique I wanted to use right off the bell and everything, and the distance was a little bit off. So I just kind of had to jump in and go after him, and he kind of like moves away from it, so you can kind of see I like chase him with my fist to land it. But I just had in my head, we're going in there and putting them on him and putting him down and collecting some money. So worked out perfect, man. I couldn't have asked for it to play out any better, obviously.
Bruh, I'll tell you this. When I first saw that clip, I probably let it loop at least 30 times. I'm like, because I had to show my dad, because my dad is a fight fan too. I had to show everybody, like, bruh, look at this. Like, it was crazy. And I had to find you, man, which is when I reached out to you and I told you, like, you just gained a new fan here, man. You just gained a new fan. So since we've reached out to you, because I'm keeping an eye on everything you got going on. I stay up. I try to stay in tune with everybody, and I've noticed that your popularity has grown exponentially since we first connected and all that stuff. So for one, that moment of that 2.9 second knockout, how has that changed your life since that happened?
The notoriety has been wild, just like getting recognized out in public is kind of crazy, as far as changing my life, nothing has really changed as far as my life goes. Unfortunately, BKFC, I guess, didn't think it was as cool as I did, so they didn't
Wow.
they didn't take care of me like I was expected them to. So unfortunately, life's still a struggle, still a grind. But I think ultimately this was the first step in changing all that. So but like you say, the Instagram blowing up. I mean, that night, that was the only thing Conor McGregor put on his story. A day or two later, 50 Cent shared it. So like, this thing went crazy. And yeah, it's been wild just watching, all the places that it's reaching.
Yeah. Well, one thing I believe in, even because that's very shocking, because for real, me being a fan of the the fight culture and so on and so forth, Star too also has a background as well. So when I saw that, I was thoroughly impressed, and to hear what you just said shocked me for real. But the fact that but the fact that who is sharing it is sharing it. I'm a firm believer in when they don't believe, you make them believe. You know what I mean? So it's the demand. I'm gonna tell you right now, your demand is about to be very, very high, because I'm eager to see your next fight. I'm ready to see it. I'm buying that pay-per-view, and I'm gonna brag and say, "Hey, yo, this is my man's right here. He was just on the show." Like, I'm bragging, dog. So, but hey, but all in all, so if there's any advice for a young fight fan out there who may be looking at you and they see that 2.9 seconds, and they are like, I want to do exactly what he did, what advice would you give them to prosper in this career choice?
One thing I think would have been nice to to have somebody tell me, I guess at that age is um, nothing just happens overnight. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's been up and down, up and down. You know, I've had hit a lot of bumps in the road, but no matter how many times you fall, as long as you get back up at the end of the day, as long as you keep pushing, you're gonna get where you want to go. So, you know, a lot of people would have quit. A lot of people would have, you know, there's guys out there that are way more talented than me that, you know, could have made it way further than me, but they lost one fight and, you know, couldn't get up off the ground. So, uh, as long as you keep getting up and keep pushing, you're going to break through that wall eventually.
So my question is, do you have a special diet or a way that you prepare for your fights?
Yeah. So, kind of depends on what weight class I'm fighting at. My last few have been at 145 pounds. Typically, I should be fighting at like 135 pounds. I walk around about 145, maybe 150. Um, so if I'm fighting up at 145, I kind of just got to eat as much as I can and put on as much weight as possible because those guys are cutting down from a lot higher. But then if I'm doing 35, you know, I basically I try not to drink any sodas or anything like that anyway. But you know, strictly water, chicken, rice. You know, especially the last 3 weeks leading up to the fight when I'm really cutting the weight. A lot of it comes off though, just with the training. And then as long as I can stay within 10 or 12 pounds of my weight, with weight cutting for fighting, you know, a lot of it is just water cuts. So you basically just dehydrate yourself and then get on the scale and weigh in at what you weigh in at, and then you have 24 or 30 hours to rehydrate and get ready to fight the next day. So as long as I don't blow up too bad, the water cut's not too bad for me. I can cut, you know, 10 pounds is not too bad the week of the fight.
So, quick mention that I have a little bit of a background in fighting. I used to kickbox and I did a taekwondo. My question to you is that I could never get used to, like, absolutely hated the ice baths. Do you do the ice baths? Like, how do you love? See, you like me. I hated them.
No,
I
I
didn't like them
hated them.
neither.
no. I mean, I have a hard enough time getting in the like a pool in the summertime if it's not heated. You know what I mean? I don't do very well with the cold. I'm sure it would be very beneficial if I could push past that mental
Mhm.
block that I've got, but I just can't do it.
Yeah. And me on the other, I actually study MMA myself, and I have a wrestling background, so I'm actually good at the grappling, you know, the grappling portion. But I will say, in any form of martial art, and as far as training goes, because in any form of martial arts, one thing that is important is the cardio. So my question is, when you train for fights or so on and so forth, what kind of cardio work do you put in or
Uh,
incorporate?
so at this point in my career, that's my main focus. Once I get a fight, I you know obviously I know how to fight already. I know how to throw a punch. So there's not a lot of little technical stuff that we're going to be adding once we get the fight. So mostly it's just cardio. I like to do as much of you know my sport based cardio as I can do. So you know sparring as much as possible with new fresh guys where you know I'm just getting worn out. These guys are fresh every you know every couple minutes coming in, pushing me. I think that's one of the best ways to build cardio. And I also do a lot of grappling just for the cardio aspect of it because there's not anything that'll kill you like grappling, man. Like obviously, you know, if you've done some wrestling and stuff. My gym is mainly a wrestling gym. We're a wrestling academy, and so we've got hundreds of kids in there all the time wrestling. You know, and
Nice.
man, they'll push you. You know, you got these. I'll be 38 this year, so you got these kids that are in college or just got out of college, or you know, seniors in high school that are trying to make a name for themselves, full of testosterone. It makes for a long night, but that helps get me in shape. You know, and I've never been much for running. I hate doing it. Just you know, I just get bored with it. So any kind of interval training or competition type thing where I'm competing with somebody I can push myself way further than if I'm just, if I'm just out running. When I get tired, I'm like, all right, I'm done. But if I'm competing with somebody, whether it be grappling or striking, or even some kind of like a CrossFit type workout, where I'm trying to do more than you, I can push way further in that situation. So that's usually mostly what I incorporate is that kind of stuff.
So to someone or a child or teenager or college student who is interested in getting in your field, where would you suggest they start?
I guess it depends on if you are interested in bare knuckle or interested in boxing, then go to a straight boxing gym is your best bet. Some place that focuses directly on that. Boxing has been around for a long, long time, so um, the the knowledge is there in those boxing gyms. So find a good boxing gym that's been in your area for a long time. A lot of areas have boxing clubs that have been established for 20, 30 years. So you can find one of those. If you want to get into MMA, look for a good gym that's got a good jiu-jitsu program as well as some striking, because you're going to need, you have to have both of those things incorporated. And you know one of the biggest things I think is just be aware when you're going to new gyms. Be aware of who you're meeting, and get to know people before you just jump into these gyms, because there's a lot of people that'll lead you down the wrong path, if you just buy into to their metaphors or whatever. And it's a very, very culty type atmosphere at a lot of these places. So um, be aware of that. That's my biggest piece of advice to young guys is, be aware of who you're with and who's around you, and make sure that they have the same aspirations as you do, and they want you to succeed, the same way you do. Make sure that they're not there just for themselves.
Wonderful. So you mentioned before that this direction of career, it has its ups and downs. It has its high points and its low points. So you personally, what is it that keeps you going? Because I can only imagine, like, in any industry the lows are very low, but those high points, when you feel that high, is different. But when those lows happen, what keeps you pushing through?
For me, it's just that I've always had a very strong belief that I was meant for something more than a 9 to 5 regular life. And I know that in anybody that you watch who's done anything special in life, they've fallen a million times, and the one thing that they all have in common is that they kept getting back up and kept trying again and kept trying again. And so I've always known that this was coming. Something big was going to happen. I just had to press forward. And that self-confidence, that self-belief, has just always given me the power to push forward. And then in the last couple of years, I've lost a couple people that are really close to me. So losing them, and their lives being ended a lot shorter than they should have been, and now tons of opportunities that are taken away from them that they'll never get to chase these passions of theirs. Really opened my eyes in the last couple of years to buckle down and not take anything for granted, and chase this thing, with everything I've got. Because like I say, one of them was a little girl, 8-year-old little girl that passed away from cancer. It was like a niece to me, a really close
Oh,
friend of mine. And the girl had a whole life in front of her. She could have done anything, and now those opportunities are gone. So I want to go, chase these opportunities, and I want to take her, and my cousin's the other one. I want to take them with me, and you know make make their make them be remembered as well.
well, my
Yeah,
condolences to you and the
definitely.
families. I hear that it still affects you, and I'm glad you're using that as motivation because it's almost like you're doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself, but you're bringing them with you. So yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it makes it a lot. You know, we only there's only so far that we'll push for ourselves, and just to make ourselves happy. But when I'm in that ring, I could be at a point where, man, I don't want to be in here no more. You know what I'm saying? And for me, if I'm just doing this for myself, it would be easy sometimes to be like, all right, we'll just do this another time. Let's stop for now. But when they're in there with me and I know that I'm fighting for them, there's no stopping. You're not gonna stop me. I'm gonna come and come and come and come until I'm dead or I can't move. You know, it gives you that extra drive to push past whatever happens.
So my
So,
question
oh no, go
is,
ahead, Star. You good?
so the underground fight clubs, do you think those water down the sport, or does it not bother you to know that those still exist? What's your take on them?
Um, there's a couple of them now that are getting a lot of traction, like the street beef stuff, and like it's not bad for the sport necessarily because it's getting eyeballs on it. Obviously, the guys that you see in those fights are not the same level as what you see, in BKFC. Like you send some of those guys over to BKFC, it's going to be a bad night for them, but it's entertaining nonetheless. You know what I mean? So, like, have you seen those? Here's the thing. I think it's in like West Virginia. It's like the Redneck Brawl or something like that. It's like the most backwoods trailer trash people you've ever seen. They don't know how to fight, but they just go in there crazy and people. It's entertaining, you know what I'm saying? So it gets people interested in the sport, and so ultimately, once you get to watching, you're gonna want to see. Okay, this is fun to watch, but now let's see what this is like at the real level. Let's see what I want to see what this is like at the top. The top level, and then they're gonna come to us. So it's just gonna bring more eyeballs onto us eventually.
Yeah, definitely a positive in everything when you
Yeah.
look at it. So so speaking of positive, when it's all said and done and all the smoke is cleared, what do you want people to remember Justin Watson for? Like, what would you want the memory or the impact that you leave on this earth to be?
Just the perseverance, like I was saying before, just like um, this guy, he lost again and again and again, but he would not give up. And eventually he broke through. And once he did, there was no stopping him. It was once he hit that climb, it was just to the moon. And if you believe in yourself, you can do the same thing. And that's kind of what I want people to look at and get from my story.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Well, firstly, we on behalf of me, Star, and the Blue Phoenix here, we would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy fight schedule and your training schedule and so on and so forth to spend this evening with us so we can learn more about you. And I'll tell you straight up, you definitely got some new supporters here, man.
I
So
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
anything you got going on, just let us know, man. We'll plug it. Anything.
Absolutely.
So before we bring everything to a close, please let everybody out here know where they can tap in with you, keep up with everything you got going on, fights, everything. Where can they find you, brother?
All my social media is BK_Warmonger. Facebook, just Justin Watson, I think. But Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is BK_Warmonger. And everything gets posted there. So that's the best way to keep up with, when things are coming up. If we get, new fights lined up, if there's opportunities in the mix, we'll be putting it up there. So yeah, just keep an eye out for all that good stuff.
Much love, man. Everybody, please give it up for Mr. Justin Watson, aka 2.9.
I
Most
appreciate you guys.
definitely. God bless you, brother. Keep us in tune with your next fight because we will definitely be tapped in, my man. Justin
Absolutely.
Watson, everybody.
And
Justin
thank you for
Watson.
coming. Thank you so
Y'all have a
much.
good weekend.
Thank you.
You
You
too, brother.
too.
You too. Man, Justin Watson, everybody. That was like I said, he's a very, very good dude. He's a monster when he step in that ring, but he got a pure heart. That's for sure. Shoot, man.
Yeah, and the thing what he talks about, a lot of people don't, is those he had lost are his why. That you need to have a why to keep going, and so that's a wonderful why to have. It's like he said, if he just kept doing it for himself, he can be like, all right, I don't want to do this today, but he just keeps pushing, and that's a wonderful message that we need to, all of us need to sometimes keep pushing. We need to push for something somebody other than ourselves.
Indeed, indeed. But I want to know what the heck Star has got going on. Since she has to make a elaborate entrance, we're back to the old times, y'all. Y'all remember back when Star had to come in after everybody? Like, no, now the Star's here. Stop everything.
Oh my gosh. Well, as all of our listeners know by now, I am a mama. I had the kids had a concert at their schools, and they
Dope.
go to school out in La Plata. So yeah, that was quite the trip, quite the trip. But I made it. I came on. I let y'all see my
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, and we
I
rarely get to
really
see
I
that.
know, and looking pretty.
thank you. And
Yeah.
thank all of our viewers and listeners for being patient with me.
Yes, indeed.
I greatly appreciate it. I enjoyed our guests. I love my family.
Hmm. Wonderful. Well, yeah. Shouts out to Stars Kids. What kind of was it? A musical performance? What kind of performance was
Yeah.
it? Musical.
Yeah,
All
it was
right.
well, it's so crazy because we all know that it's January, but it was their winter concert. So
Oh well, it's cold. It's definitely winter. That ain't
yeah,
so. I ain't mad at
yeah.
that. But
The
hey,
kids did
well,
lovely though. They did really, really, really well. You wouldn't believe that the majority of the band had never picked up an instrument months prior. It was very, very enjoyable, and I enjoyed myself. Of course, I always support the kids, but
hmm,
you would have loved to see it. You would not have expected them to be new to the instruments that they played.
that's dope. So we might have to slide
That's
through
a little
next
credit.
time.
Yeah, that's a credit to the teacher. A great teacher can do anything. So that's
Definitely.
wonderful.
And
Mm.
she was funny, y'all. Their teacher, she's Asian. Miss let me see. Kokomoto,
Oh, she sounded
I
like
think
she
was
could
her
play an
name.
instrument. You know it.
She was
You know the
hilarious. She
them
was
ins-
hilarious.
them instrumentalists have them fancy names like that, like Yo Yo Ma and all them. She sound like she can play. Shout out to Yo Yo Ma, but she sound like she can play something crazy.
Yeah. She made sure to tell all of us that when they first got started, they all sounded like dying animals.
That's crazy work. Not dying animals. That's nasty work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, dang, yo. Well, first of all, y'all, just to keep y'all up, just all we can ask is y'all to stay tuned on everything. We are brainstorming on a whole lot of different projects here, so on and so forth. Even Star here came. Whoa. Oh, and that's how Star here came up with a very very good idea that's in the works. So and plus, with the No Filter Show, we are going to be giving you a brand new view and presentation of how we deliver this show to you. But you all will see that soon. So, first and foremost, let's switch this up a little bit. Star, why don't you round the outros out and do your little situation, thing. We're doing this in reverse tonight.
Well, as you know, I am your always late hottie. And
Always
as always, I love you. 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 We will be back. Quick did mention two things. Yes, we do have some things in the works. And since he never hesitates to tell y'all that I have a background in hand to hand combat, those things will be the new, you get to see me in action. So instead of being on screen with guns this time, you'll see a little hand to hand combat. You'll see a little kickboxing. You'll get to see me do my thing. I am your girl, Just Star, and as always, mwah, kisses to you all. Good
that one
night.
left lipstick on my eye. Goodness.
You all
Goodness.
right. You ain't dead. You good. And you might still see a little gun action. You just never know. You just never know. I am the Blue Phoenix. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you that support us, that have been supporting us the whole time. I'm gonna say this all the time because we really, really appreciate it. We love you guys. Thank you so much, and have a most amazing weekend. And stay warm because January acting up.
A little bit, but I don't mind it because it's my birthday month. Y'all already know these
Ain't nobody
vibes.
worried about you.
Hey, you don't got to because that's my job. So yeah. Well, anyhow, first and foremost, thank you again to our guest, the talented, ever so warrior hearted Mr. Justin Watson, for coming through, kicking it with us tonight. And once again, it is January and it's a king's birthday this weekend. So tomorrow, make sure y'all pop out to the Famous Lounge. Shout out to the lovely folks at the Famous Lounge for putting this together, helping me put this together or whatnot. So pop out. Let's party, have fun. If your birthday's in January, this is our night, so make sure y'all pop out. Let's ball out. Come to K-Quick's turn up at the Famous Lounge. 10 p.m. is going down. You already know that. Follow me at the Real K-Quick. I am kquick.com. You know it's beats, bars, and faith. And we are the No Filter Show. And until next Thursday, keep it locked. Yeah, yeah.